It's just, I mean, split last week, kind of like the first week of Big Ten play. Just, kind of riding maybe up and down a little bit?
Yeah, I think Penn State's a good team. I know they're a good team. I thought actually we played pretty good in a lot of spots. We just gave them too many freebies and too many giveaways. And against teams like that, any team in our conference, you can't do that. And again, it's not for a lack of trying. It's almost the other way, where you're trying too hard to make points happen, and you really have to settle into those matches and not kind of let the atmosphere and just kind of the excitement of the match get to you. And so I felt that we made a lot of good plays. I thought we did a nice job on Mirzik. I mean, she's one of the best hitters in the conference. We almost held her to 0, but we let some of the other players get loose, and they have a nice team. So it's just tough to stop them on all fronts. But I like a lot of the plays that we did. We carried some of that over to Saturday night, and we limited some of our errors. And I thought we played really good in stretches against Iowa too. So again, it's just about every week trying to see those improvements and try to do it more consistently. And I felt that we did do that. Just one of the opponents was maybe a little bit better than we'd seen in the past.
I guess sort of the trying too hard thing. It's more mental than physical. I mean, so how do you address that? I mean,
yeah, welcome to the party. I mean, that's the hardest part about sport. It's like if it were easy, everyone would do it. But there's lots to go on into this, and we have fans that care. We got media that cares. We've got a lot of people out there that are, you got all eyes on us, and you got the athletes who are putting the pressure on themselves to do really well in front of thousands of fans. And so it's I always tell them it's a privilege to be in these environments, and you learn a lot about yourself when you're trying to figure this stuff out. And to do it at a young age is not easy to do, but I'm proud of how our athletes are working through it and kind of the steps that we take. But yeah, you're right. We talk about it. We talk about how to approach different matches. We talk about how they feel in certain environments, and whether you're home, away, maybe you got family in town. Maybe it could be a whole multitude of things that we just have to make sure we always keep track of. And it's always there. The mental side of it's right up there with doing it physically as well. And so I just always look for improvement there, and we always talk about how we can improve in both facets of the game.
I guess you mentioned just giving and say too many points. I mean, just that's kind of been a consistent thing this year. I mean, just maybe hurting yourself a little bit.
Yeah, and again, you gotta live on the edge a little bit here. If we just played it as safe as we could, I'm not sure that's good enough to beat any good team. And so it's the whole concept of you have to be able to take these risks and to kind of live, like I said, on that edge, so we can score those points. We can take big swings, and some of those second contacts turned into free balls for them, and some of them turned into maybe not as great of decisions as we wanted to, or maybe a service error here and there that we didn't want. But again, you're going to have some level of error in there. You're going to have some level of, like I said, some giveaway, concept in there, but it can't be as many as we had. I think I counted in the first set we had 11 giveaways, which would be something that's easier than a ball being swung at. So a free ball, down ball. We had 4 hitting errors, 4 attacking errors. And so that right there, you're talking about you switch 11 of those giveaways to 5, and we lose the first set 25-22. That's maybe a first set win. And so the margin of the error is thin, but like I said, we have to be able to kind of strike that balance of going for it, but also being smart when we have to.
And this is, I guess, sort of a typical Big Ten week with 2 top 25 teams. One team.
Yeah, let's go.
I guess how much of this week is maybe an opportunity to get one of those wins that you need?
Yeah, both teams are very good, and they both provide a different challenge, and Purdue's playing some good volleyball, and so is Wisconsin, obviously. And you're going to need marquee wins on your resume to look good. Hopefully, with the chance that we can get in, but it's always one game at a time for me. And Purdue is our first option here on Wednesday, and then once we play Wisconsin on Friday, on Saturday, we kind of flip the page and try to go against them. But you're going to try to get a win, no matter who you are. And you see across conference, you've seen upsets. You've seen across the country, you've seen upsets. October's tough to get into once we start getting into conference play. So it's really about staying fresh and trying to strike the balance of working hard in the gym, but also being mentally fresh by the time we show up to our opponents.
Purdue was one of those teams that got upset.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you take anything from that?
You always try to see what the other teams did against them, and they played one of the better matches the night before against Nebraska. And, they went 5, and arguably they could have won 4, and from there, and they might have had some mental letdown as well. They probably walk into the match, hey, well, this is not Nebraska, this is a different team. But you can't do that in their conference. Everyone's too good, and so we're going to prepare for them to have a response and for them to play their best. So we really have to just be ready to play our game and making sure we can do what we can.
And what does Purdue do that's challenging? Obviously, it was good last year.
Yeah. They returned. Abe Hudson, they returned a lot of good players. They brought in a lot of good players too. They always have good floor defense. They always serve tough. It's always tough to play in their arena. And so it's just another battle in the Big Ten. That being said, we always played them pretty well. Since my time being here, we played them very well and come up with some big wins. And it's always been a battle. I think we've never gone less than 4 sets, or we've always had. I think we've gone to 5 sets a lot, and we're looking forward to the battle.
You've got one of those 5-set wins under your belt, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, does just having that, I don't know, muscle memory, mental memory, if it gets tight like that, is that?
Yeah, I think you always like to get them however you can, and the 5th sets tend to be more of a coin flip than anything. You get caught in one bad rotation, and you get 5 bad points to go against you. To get back in a 15-point set is tough, and so I think the bigger thing for us is really working on obviously trying to score a lot of points in our rotations that are good, and then make sure we stem some of the ones that not quite so much. And I felt like we've been doing a better job of getting out of those rotations and figuring out different ways to score when those bad rotations come up. But we still have to just do our job one point at a time and be able to get after them as best we can.
It's serve, receive, defense always at the top of the conversation. What do you kind of feel like this team has, like, first touch?
Yeah, better as the weeks have gone on. I thought we passed really well against Penn State and Iowa. A little bit of some that first string of points I didn't like, but after that I thought we stemmed it pretty good. And I think it's just been better as we've gotten our consistency in there with the lineup. Has been a little more consistent over the last several weeks, and they get used to playing next to one another. It matters. It takes time to get to know how to play someone next to someone and around someone. I think it's just every week it's been looking better and better.
You mentioned post-game that Rain has been carrying a heavy load, but you like more of the distribution. How's that been coming along?
Yeah, good. She's going to carry a load for us, no matter what match. But we also need to find people are going to key up on her. They're going to send more blockers to her. We have to be able to find kills in different areas, and so we mixed up with some routes. As the passing gets better, it's easier to distribute. Usually your outsides are the most important, because if the passing's not there, everyone in the country is looking to their outside. So that's where she's going to get a lot of reps out there, or a lot of attempts out there in a match. And so as the ball control gets better, it's easier to mix in your different players. Easier to set the middle, easier to set the opposite, easier for Brooke to make herself an option. So she's always going to be a big portion of our offense, but we have to look at how we can score points efficiently, whether it's setting her or someone else.
And just because this may be the only time we talk before Saturday, do you have any thoughts? I know it's a little early on Wisconsin in that matchup.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're number one for a reason, and they've had some battles early on, and they're big across the front. They've got good defense across the back. They picked up a high-level transfer in Tebby, and they can give you different looks too. If someone's not playing well, they can sub someone else in who can also do it. So it's going to require you to play pretty clean and to be able to try to do something maybe a little bit different that can knock them off their heels and try to get after them. But they're battle tested, and we have to be ready to battle.